What's up guys, happy Thanksgiving. I just wanted to make a little bit of a video today to talk about my experience with cars and bids. From this title, I guess you guys know, I bought a 1999 Porsche 911 off of Cars and Bids, which is Doug DeMuro's auction website. I know a lot of people are wary about auction websites. I took this to my first car meet with it, and a lot of people came up to me and they were like, oh, you bought it off Cars and Bids? Like, I don't trust auction websites. Like, how do you know that you're getting a good car? Or is there any guarantee there? Can you just buy any car off of Cars and Bids? And I had a pretty positive experience with Cars and Bids. And I just kind of wanted to share how it all works and everything, and from a buyer's perspective, kind of what you're getting yourself into. So for me, I wasn't really in the market for a car. Over quarantine, I restored my dad's 1992 Dodge Stealth. It's right over here, I'll put a picture. But I was kind of vaguely looking for my next restoration project, and I love Porsches. I annoy my local dealership all the time. Whenever they get like new inventory or they're revealing something, I show up even though I definitely can't afford any new Porsche. But yeah, so I saw this 911 pop up on Cars and Bids. I was just kind of looking at the website one day, and I caught the auction right at the beginning. And it was in Florida. A motorsports engineer down there was selling his 911. It seemed like it was the right car for me because it was a 99 car, which has the cable throttle. They're the lightest ones. It had 997 Carrera wheels on it, and they were painted black, which those are my favorite Porsche wheels. But I did end up replacing them. I put more modern Porsche wheels on here because the 997 wheels came and all four of them were bent in multiple places, and for the same price I could buy a new set of the same size wheels that came from a McCann. So temporarily I've got these black McCann wheels on here. I think they look pretty good. It's not too disruptive. They don't look like they're aftermarket wheels. They just look like more modern wheels. I don't know, I like them. But tangent aside, whenever I'm like trying to buy something expensive that I'm gonna spend my money, like a lot of my money on, I try to be really thorough with purchasing. I was kind of that annoying buyer, annoying auction person where I asked so many questions. I asked probably a little too many questions. Like, I even asked if the inside smelled like there had been any spills or smokers in it, just because I wanted to know everything and just kind of know exactly what I was getting myself into. And if you look at other auctions on that site, people ask a lot less specific questions. Like, most of the auctions only have like 5 questions, but this one had like 15 questions, and I think about 10 of them were me. So I'm sorry to the past owner, but yeah. I was lucky because the seller of this car was really, really thorough. We asked him to do a DME report, which he had done, and like a leak down test. He had pretty much every bit of information that anyone would have wanted, and people really were scrutinizing this car, like trying to find every little piece of imperfection that they could. But he provided everything that any of the interested buyers wanted, and it all looked good. So I had set my maximum, and the day of the auction, there were a lot of people interested. There were probably about 5 people who were bidding. There ended up being, I think, about 60 bids on the car before it sold. And there was a lot of spectators too. That's another thing about Cars and Bids. There's a lot of people who watch the end of the auction, so it's really easy to get kind of hyped up in it and end up bidding too high. The other thing that kind of made me wary about it was, before I was familiar with the seller and how much integrity he had, I was very wary of accounts that would show up and just start commenting or bidding that were like made that day with no pictures or anything, no descriptions, because you know, you want to make sure that an auction is fair. During this auction, another auction had been taken down because there was very similar suspicious activity, but everything ended up checking out with this car. With Cars and Bids, every time it's under a minute and somebody bids, it resets the clock to a minute. And there was probably about 20 bids that had the clock extend. But I ended up winning, and it's funny because everyone who had been watching the auction really disliked me because I was asking all these questions, and then I kind of went silent for a few days just to test the waters, just kind of watch from a distance, and then at the last minute come in and really show that I was interested. And it was funny because by the end, if you look at the comments on the auction, everyone was like, "Oh, Luke, we want Luke to win. Luke, do this," and yeah, so it was fun. It was a very exciting experience. I mean, just going on Cars and Bids and watching the ends of auctions is really entertaining. I highly recommend it. I still go on there and watch auctions, and sometimes after I won the auction, Cars and Bids emailed me immediately, and they emailed the seller immediately and put us in contact, and they said, they gave us like a guidelines of what to do, like make a bill of sale. They gave suggestions, but it's mostly up to the seller and the buyer once the car has been won at the auction. And unless either the seller doesn't provide the car or the buyer doesn't provide the money, Cars and Bids is pretty much out of it once there's once the two parties are in contact. So yeah, luckily, like I said, I had a really good seller on this auction, and we were able to work everything out within a few days. Within about a week and a half, I had the car all the way up from Florida, and since then I've put about 750 miles on it. In the 2 weeks exactly that it's been in good running condition, I had to fix a few things. A lot of parts were adjusting to the cold here in the Northeast, where it came from Florida. So that's a little bit about my Cars and Bids experience. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Once again, happy Thanksgiving. I'm gonna be making a few videos about this car. I have a bunch of recorded content of the restoration that I did. I mean, the paint needed a little bit of love when I got it, and so did the interior. And I've probably put about 30 of my own hours into just restoring this thing. It has 152,000 miles on it, but I mean, by the way it looks right now, you'd never know. There's a lot of exciting stuff coming revolving this car, so I hope you guys, subscribe and leave a comment down below. What do you think? What is your opinion on the 996? I personally, I'm a big 997 fan, but now that I have this, there's no way to justify the extra $15,000, $20,000 for a car that's not much faster at the end of the day. I mean, this has an exhaust on it. It makes about 320 to the wheels. So yeah, and it weighs about 2,800 pounds. So it's a rocket, and there's really not much faster you need to go. And especially with the extra wide wheels on here, I'm running 295s in the back, 245s in the front. So plenty of grip, pretty much all the car you'll ever need on the street, and a lot of fun on the track. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye, Cam.